I would like to talk to you now about selling search marketing. Selling search marketing is one of the most wonderful kinds of sales, if you really like sales, because it's got all the fun elements of sales. It's a consultative sale, it's a high-level sale. Done right, you're truly delivering value and you're really helping companies. The work that you do is, in some cases, almost magical because it's so difficult sometimes for the layperson to understand how a really good search engine marketing agency was able to achieve work that they've done. Let me explain a little bit about the kind of services that you're selling when you're selling search. Generally, the maximum number of services that you'd sell would be a list of these. Paid search management. Now, most agencies will do that, and what that is, handling the Google AdWords and keyword management on all the other search engines. And so it's all about developing a strategy on which search engines, developing the creative, the landing page strategy, and it involves a lot of very interesting analysis. Unfortunately, it's also such a competitive business that it's almost become commoditized. So it's very difficult when you're selling paid search against a number of other people that are selling paid search to differentiate yourself. And the best way to do that is to talk about the service level of your company. However, another way that people talk about that differences is technology. So some of the companies will use some kind of proprietary bid management technology. Many of them don't. Both will learn to argue why their way is better. Some will have a very small account team. Others always put a big account team. And still others will use an account team where each different person does a different job, as opposed to just simply having 8 people all basically doing about the same kinds of things. Well, each different way of servicing an account and how many times a month the account team and the customer will talk has a lot to do with how you're going to sell that value. The second service is SEO, or search engine optimization. This is actually a completely different science, and generally the account team that would handle that engagement would be a very different account team. It would be difficult to find somebody who was both good at managing paid search and SEO, as those are two completely different specialties. And the SEO specialist will have a number of strategies that have to do with the very dark science, if you will, of understanding all the black boxes associated with search engine rules. So essentially what they're trying to do is understand what search engines do, how they determine relevance being the key determinant in which listing goes first all the way through the end of the index. They will know how to leverage all of the opportunities in order to help their client achieve high rankings. And they're looking at things like the site architecture, metadata, keyword content, and linking strategies. Social media marketing, yet another completely different specialty. And in this specialty, unlike the others, what we're looking for are entry points along the web where we are able to engage with potentially interested buyers and users and site visitors while they're on other sites. So the nature of social media marketing is to find people when they're on other sites and market to them, and get those people in turn to, in virus marketing fashion, distribute your links to other people and make other people aware through them, whereas all the other engagements have to do with things that are happening on site. Social media marketing requires, because of the nature of the content that has to be spread throughout the web, it requires a lot of research. It requires a lot of content going out, which means that among the various teams delivering service, arguably the social media marketing team will be the busiest in terms of every single day they have to do things, where sometimes the other teams can not do things for a couple of days and then sort of catch up on a third day. Landing page optimization is not always offered as a service, but sometimes it is, and sometimes it's part of an SEO engagement. And landing page optimization says, once we do get people to our site, we need to choose the particular page that we want them to come to, and we ideally pick a page that when people start at that page, convert at a higher rate than any other page. So to do that, the companies will use various technologies that allow for the testing of multiple landing pages. So unbeknownst to users who are coming to the site, they will each be shot out of a cannon, if you will, and it's most helpful visually to think about a cannon shooting 1/3 of the people that come to that page to one test site, 1/3 to another, and 1/3 to another. And so in that way you could get 3 different landing pages in a totally random assortment of users and see how they react when we have different designs. And you create competition between different designs. And so you might do that with 3 pages, which would be an ABC test, or you might only do that with 2 pages, A/B test. And then once you pick a winning design, you have to test every one of the elements, and that's called multivariate testing. And so by the time you're done with that, in which case your landing page conversion rate should be better, however, you may never be done with it because it is a never-ending science of adjusting and tweaking. And finally, some companies that also deliver the other ones will deliver, the other services will also deliver web development. They'll also create a website or create certain pages of a website, for example, a landing page. So you'll see all those things. It's a teaching sale. For the most part, when you go in to talk to a customer, chances are they know less than you, and so you spend most of your time explaining what everything means and what everything does, and you're trying to do that while not giving away the so-called secret sauce. That is, the special strategies that your agency alone uses. So the thing about search marketing, which is different than all the other arts, for the most part, is this: that all of the people engaged with search marketing, all of the agencies that offer to help advertisers through search marketing, all of them have the same problem. They have to interpret search engines. And they all have to figure out the best way to deal with search engines. And so they're all starting at the same starting point, which is an interesting thing in business. And so you go to any one of them because you think their strategy is going to work out better than another one. And so to the degree that you can make a lot out of your proprietary technology or lack of same, or your business model, that will be the difference between whether you actually get that work or not. It's also hard to unseat another agency or unseat the in-house agency that's handling this work. And so one of the things that you'll come across if you're selling search is that your target is a very hard to get to qualified customer. It would be a customer who does buy into the notion of outsourcing this management of their SEM campaign, but it's also a company that is currently using an agency that they're thinking about getting rid of soon, or possibly entertaining the notion of considering changing soon. And unless those are true, you're not going to be able to get a sale. And so you spend a long time waiting for the right conditions to come up with big advertisers. And then with smaller advertisers who do everything in-house, you have to develop the argument of why outsourced services, which are expert services, can outperform the in-house service. And for my money, the best argument is this: the outsourced agency deals with many, many, many types of campaigns. So they engage with the search engines in many, many different ways. And most agencies will be handling anywhere from 50 to 200 campaigns at any given moment. So they have a real-time understanding, whereas the in-house agency, even if they're very active, is only handling one campaign, their own. And so the amount of learnings they could possibly get is limited, and as a result, the other team's strategy is probably better. But if you are a proponent of in-house teams, of course you have to learn to argue the opposite. And so much of that is the case with the Internet, that regardless of the technological advantage, it boils down to how well can you explain the advantages of what you have over everyone else's methodology.